Chapter 2 of the shading section, and I step back from it. It doesn't look bad. I still haven't made a decision as to how I'm going to handle my background. Now, in some circles, that's bad. You know, things are always planned out ahead of time, but I want to just feel this drawing out a little bit. I might do like gradations back there. I don't think I'm going to do like a solid dark, and I really don't know if I want to match the value of the dark sheet. I might in a section, but that's going to take me a long time to do with the Kohl Erase pencil. And again, I don't know how much time I want to spend on the background in this DVD. It's more about me showing you how to draw this cast in a realistic way. So we've got right underneath here a little shape. I'm squinting, a triangular shape of light. It'd be easier for me not to put it in right now and just come back with it later. And I don't even have to put it in. But I'm just blending the fabric into the cast. And I'm also looking at this main shape. First fabric shape. Okay, it's right underneath the navel. It's a little bit to the left of the navel. And I need to, get in that landmark right now. And let's roll up. So I'm squinting, and that's cool. I'm digging that. So I'm drawing the line that separates light from the dark. This is extremely close to the base. All beautiful texture under there that I want to show you, because a lot of people from drawingtutorialsonline.com have been asking me about how do you draw texture. And there's some texture on this statue that I think is worth me talking about. So again, I'm squinting. I'm not looking for perfection just yet. This section down over here with the fabric is just going to take some good old-fashioned concentration. That's all that is concentration. It's not skill. It is skill, but it's more about focus and concentration. All right, so let's just get in. See how I just looked at the video screen. You see how ghost-like this thing is? It's a little sharp over here, and that's where it should be sharp because that's a box. That's its box section, and everything else is kind of like a little bit more rolling. So now let's get it. We've blocked it in. Okay? That took 2 seconds. It took 10 minutes to block all this in, basically. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start to render. So the blocking in is the easy part. Now there's a million shades of gray, and I'm going to think about my model and factors as I render, and I'm going to also think about, I just don't like the way this is over here, my convex line that I'm going to roll on top of the tone. So see what I'm doing right now? I'm starting to put in a light halftone. And I'm starting to turn the breast a little bit into light. Now, remember the modeling factors. We've got to do a skinny little ring of a light halftone because we don't want to start pulling all this into the light. Now, I don't have any eraser yet. And let's talk about tools very quickly. I could use my kneaded eraser, and I can draw a little bit. I'm going to do that right now. Just go a little bit more curvy with this. And I'm going to use a kneaded eraser, which is this blue thing, this pencil, and this brush. Okay, this brush is just to get rid of the eraser crumbs. I don't know if I'll probably wind up using this eraser. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use chalk on this cast drawing, white chalk. I might, or I may not. I will see how it goes. Again, I don't want to give myself too many rules. I kind of just want to go with the flow. But right now, I am trying to turn this breast into the light. So you've got to commit to one section. I'm not saying that you got to commit to putting in a black, but you've got to commit to one section and just start to render it. So the motion that I'm doing with my hand and my pencil is a circular motion. And I'm doing a skinny like little band of my light halftone. Because again, I don't want to roll this dark too much into the light because I know that this is all front plane shadow. So now I can come on in and just put in my dark halftone. And I'll zoom in on some sections when I really start to render, but right now I'm not getting stuck anywhere. I don't want to get stuck anywhere. At least I'm trying not to. I want to move around the drawing like the Ferris wheel theory. And this paper does have some serious texture to it. Goodness. So we're going to have to keep that in mind. So I'm doing a phantom line once again. And I'm going to work all the way down. Now I'm working on a diagonal. I'm going to work all the way down with my pencil on a diagonal. So I'm putting in a very wider dark halftone over here, because this is more modeling factors at the breast. Over here it just gets like a little bit more light and dark. So you want to keep this kind of crisp and somewhat sharp in most sections, with the exception of over here in the lower rib cage area, because this is top of the pelvis, iliac crest over here, and that's sharp. So now I'm going to knock down. Now when I say knock down from chapter 1, I just mean to make a little bit darker. This is such a very cool thing that everybody should do. I'm almost contemplating buying a few casts and keeping them in my classroom, which would be a little expensive and kind of pain in the butt for me to lug in these statues to New York City. But if I had a student for the first time in my class, I mean, there's just so intimidating. You've got this nude model up there. You've got to deal with personalities. And it's so much easier to draw an inanimate object than it is to draw a live human being, because the inanimate object is just a little easier on your brain to handle. So now let's put in some tone in the light, very light stuff. Knock this down. And sooner or later I'm going to have to make a decision on the background tone, because I want to render into tone. I don't want to render into white, because if I render into white, then I'm going to have like flatness. But I'm kind of saving it, the background tone, for a practical reason, and that practical reason is I don't want to smudge everything just yet. This is too big. Yeah, this is just way too big. I'm looking at my measurements. So you see what happens? I put the tone in, and now I all of a sudden see that a measurement is off. So that's easy. That's an easy fix. I'm going to stick with the whole breast area for now. And blocking in really is where it's at least at this point in the drawing. So I'm just putting down some colored pencil on the paper, trying to get rid of some white, and I'm primarily doing it in a downward pencil stroke. Get rid of some light over here. I'm squinting. And I'm trying to keep that saying in mind. I want to keep my lights light, and I want to keep my darks dark. I don't want to start creating mud. Let's just make this a tad more solid. And we've got a million gradations over here. So I am going to smudge this. There's no doubt about it. This I'm just going to block in a tone because it's not white. Just scribbling a little bit, try not to be perfect. Alright, let's come back, and then when we come back I'm going to consider either fixing this or erasing this out or starting to put in some background tone.